What's up everyone, John from ARTV. Hope everyone's having a pop-punk summer out there. Pizza, pop-punk, and parties. Today, we're reviewing the sophomore album by Trashboat, a band from the UK who do have pop-punk in their veins, but also, more importantly, melodic hardcore, maybe a little bit of punk for sure, more than pop, and also some post-hardcore tendencies. And it really makes them stand out in the pop-punk quote-unquote scene because they are vastly different and they're also a lot heavier and just have a tendency to write much better lyrics. And it's a band that it's a shame I didn't give a chance to sooner. Now, their first album, which was titled, let me pull that up here, Nothing I Write You Can Change What You've Been Through. Wow. Now, that is a mouthful. No wonder I fucked that up the first 3 times. Nothing I Write You Can Change What You've Been Through is an album that I just kind of didn't pay much attention to. It was something that was requested back in 2016, but I never really got around to it, and now I'm starting to think that I might have missed my opportunity there to cover a band that was starting to break, but whatever, we're gonna give the attention where attention is due, and I am gonna review the hell out of Shyness because this album is great. You might have heard me praising lead single Shade as a song that I could not stop listening to, and let me tell you, this album just follows suit. I mean, sure, Shade is one of the best songs, but there's so many best songs here. Now, Shade is the lead single, and it's the first Trashboat song that I actually heard in full. And let me tell you, I was hooked. It's full throttle. Those guitars, those hammering drums in the intro, and the way that the guitars cascade down on top of that. And then the lead singer, Toby's voice just really kicks in, and I love the way that he sounds. I think that he does have a lot of charisma to his vocals. He can not only sing his ass off in places, but I think that Toby Duncan also brings an awesome screaming presence to the more breakdown-centric parts and the heavier tendencies that they do have with their guitar tones and the drumming and the bass lines. He just fits perfectly with the music, and Shade is a prime example of this band firing on all cylinders. Now, this was the only song that I heard in full before hearing Shyness, but I also heard a snippet of Inside Out, and I was kind of taken back by that too. I was really impressed, but I decided to hold out for the record considering it was about to come out anyways, and I'm kind of glad that I held off. Now, in the context of the album, it serves as the perfect opener. It gets lightning quick. It also has a menacing aggressive tone to it, and that paired up with Shade being the first 2 songs on the record, oh man, what a great combination. To describe the sound of Shyness, I would say that they definitely have the heavier punk-leaning tendencies that punch hard in the drum department, also have some steady but sometimes rhythmic guitars that you can really just groove to. Some of the breakdowns and even the lead guitar parts you're going to air guitar along. It's inevitable that you're just going to be headbanging, rocking out to these tracks. It's a very, very, very pleasing summer album. I'm talking roll the windows down and maybe have a pizza party, maybe have a pool party, maybe just cut loose and rock out, because this album is the soundtrack for that. You've got the fun lead guitar, the deep bass, and the super hooky chorus on Nothing New to really pay attention to and have fun to. Why do I do this to myself in the first place? He just has this valley effect to his voice where he hits a variety of different notes, but can also just register the yells and the screams and a different tone when it's really needed, as he comes through on some of these other moments like Controlled Burn, which just feels like chaos in a song, talking about somebody that seems to be obviously out of control. It started off as maybe the controlled burn, but that fire is starting to get a little bit more lit, a little bit more wild, and the spark can't be put out, and this kind of seems like a put down or a takedown in a way, and I'm here for it. I'm loving every moment and aspect of this song. As we keep digging on through this record, there's other amazing songs here, including the title track, which was a total emotional roller coaster that I didn't expect. The first time that I ever paid attention to and read along with the lyrics for the title track Shyness, I might have just teared up a bit, because this is not just your token ballad for a band of this variety and style. Maybe you think to a Neck Deep or a WSTR or somebody else, and you know they always got like that one slow song on the album, and sometimes it just feels so out of place or so phoned in or just so like, oh, the record label wanted us to have a slow song, what are we gonna do? This didn't feel like that at all. Instead, this song shows us emotional vulnerability. It shows us the ability to sing on a track from Toby and really showcasing his voice and the band's musicianship in a different light. And I also really have to praise and call out the standout lyrics on this one, because I know I said a summer record is definitely at the core of this album. Well, I'm going to be saving this one for fall, because my god, this is totally a fall song if I've ever heard one. In fact, it even references autumn on the track. So please, mark your calendars, set a reminder, and play this song right around the middle of September, October. This is going to be a go-to, I guarantee you. The lyrics here seem to talk about distancing oneself and also feeling out of place. It refers to growing taller than the other trees in the forest. If a canopy of leaves are covering, why am I the one that's constantly having to go up to the light and maybe make myself feel something, or feel more important, or feel wanted? It's something that just leaves a lingering impression, both lyrically and musically, and it shows a band in their prime in terms of mixing things up and it totally working. Rollicking guitars kick back in once again on Old Soul, which is probably my least favorite track here, but I really appreciate the band's performance on the tune. Something feels maybe a little bit off, or maybe just not quite as great vocally and lyrically, but still a pretty good song overall. And then we get towards the end of this record and we get a great 1-2 combo, a nice little knockout in the form of Silence and Undermine. Now, Silence starts off being pretty much fun after coming out of Crown Shyness, the slower track, but still very, very solid lyrically, a great storyline that I'm enjoying there. And then we get Undermine, which talks about something that I think a lot of people are going to relate to. Maybe I'll just stay at home is basically what he's getting at and saying on this track in the refrain. And it seems like he's getting rid of a lot of negativity in the life, trying to cut ties with certain things. And I like the way that the song kind of has this attack and release, and it starts off a little bit slow and it reels you in and has a little suspense to it. So it's different for a band of this variety, and once again, very solid from a writing point of view. However, tensions rise to a new height on the final song, the closing track here, and the climax, which really feels like the lead singer was dealing with the death of somebody in a family, at least a huge loss in some form. This track is titled Love, Hate, React, Relate. And it seems like at the end of the song especially, he goes on this almost tirade where he's talking about how he goes through the motions in order to make himself feel things, whether it be the joy or the love, the hate, reacting to a situation and putting up an emotion, what he thinks he's supposed to emote. And it's a really, really interesting and solid song, especially to close out this record Crown Shyness, because the whole album did show off amazing writing, but this one just brings it to a pinnacle. And honestly, to see an album go out on a huge note like this, it can only spell good things, and I'm really impressed. Trash Boat are a band that need to be on your radar. If they are not, then grab the blip and put it on there right now. Put a pin in it, save it. Check it out, stream it, listen to it, try a song at least. This band really impressed me with their sophomore effort. I can't wait to go back and explore the debut even further. And even though this album I don't think is game-changing, it's still really solid for what it is. And not every album has to be pushing and pivoting towards something completely new. They take the best elements of the genres that they're a part of and make it work for them. And their vocalist is really doing great things. Huge props to Trash Boat. I do hope that you guys will go check out this record, buy it, stream it if you do like it, support a smaller band that's signed to Hopeless Records. I will leave a link for that in the description down below. It was at this exact moment in the editing process when John realized that he had forgotten to slap a rating on this album. And of course, people could check the description, but then again, people don't know what the description is, so I have to put it in the video. Trash Boat's new album is getting a 4.5 out of 5. Please drop a like on this review. Help me keep reviewing smaller bands like this by clicking the link to donate to my Patreon page. It's the top link down below, and it helps reviews of smaller bands and just all the other content that I do on both of my channels coming on a monthly basis. If you feel so inclined to sign up on Patreon, there's even a quick annotation in the corner of the screen there for you. And please, while you're here, drop a comment. Start typing right now and let me know your thoughts on the singles or even the album as a whole. Other than that, you can see another pop punk review right over here, or another recent video I put up on the channel right over here. All of my social media accounts, including my Twitch, where I do streams a couple of times a week, are linked down below. And other than that, I'll see you soon for more on ARTV.